welcome back to Eye-Opening Literature, where we read controversial classics. My name is Sullivan O'Hare, and I'm an optometrist in New York. Last week's episode, where we took a fresh look at Orwell's Animal Farm, unsettled a few listeners, but it gave us a taste for satire and literature's ability to disrupt traditional worldviews. Mavis from Illinois has requested Slaughterhouse 5 for this week. Thank you, Mavis. Slaughterhouse 5 is a non-linear satire by Kurt Vonnegut that follows time-traveling optometrist, how meta is this, Billy Pilgrim, as he escapes his trauma of war. So now for my thesis about the model. Vonnegut satires humanity in Slaughterhouse 5 in order to disturb the reader and shed light on an alternative perspective of society. Not as a glamorous, well-oiled machine, but as depraved, meaningless, a rejection of responsibility. So as usual, let's break it down. First is the absurd characterization of Roland Weary and, of course, Billy Pilgrim. I see Vonnegut's characterizations as a representation of an imperfect and rather sad version of humanity that disrupts the image of perfect masculinity and heroism presented in the media by dirty old men. So Vonnegut uses the war as this very volatile setting for humanity. It exposes the flaws we try to hide. Billy Pilgrim is shaped like a Coke bottle and has shoulders like a box of kitchen matches. He is a subversion of the clever, graceful soldier presented by war-loving actors such as John Wayne. Billy Pilgrim is portrayed as a runt, a filthy flamingo, as he involuntarily dances through the atrocities of World War II. And he is a representation of the everyman, which we discussed in episode 4 on Fight Club. Roland Weary, by contrast, is hyper-masculine and looks like Tweedledum or Tweedledee. So what's wrong with him? Well, Roland introduces his sadistic, mean bully who likes to collect guns and swords and torture instruments and leg irons and so on. Whilst Billy is the weakness of men, Roland is its cruelty, a dichotomous relationship between the two. Roland satirizes the American dream built on violence and hatred. Both these characters seem to have absurd physical characteristics, but upon closer examination, let's put on our reading glasses, these are to essentially make fun of man and make us all seem like fools in a cartoon, the exact point of satire. Now let's put on our retinal scanners and dig deeper to look into the very heart of Vonnegut's message. Vonnegut's creation of the Tralfamadorians introduces a rather absurd notion that highlights Billy's avoidance of responsibility, symbolizing humanity's proclivity towards excusing their cruel behavior through a philosophy based on optimistic beliefs and only thinking about the good things. Billy creates a world where he does not have to feel guilty or accountable for any of his actions in the war. Specifically surviving the bombing of Dresden, where 135,000 innocent civilians were eaten by the one flame that ate everything organic, everything that would burn. He uses the aliens of fantasy born from Kilgore's Trout's science fiction novels to help justify his avoidance of responsibility. And that is just so absurd. He's on an alien planet with a porn star and he's kept in a zoo. It's just so stupid. And that is exactly what Vonnegut wants us to think, how stupid is not only this character, but anyone who thinks like this, who chooses to ignore reality. But what is harder to see, again let's put on our reading glasses, is that he is mocking us. We deny our present, past, and future realities in favor of one where we are good, we did nothing wrong, and we can be told how perfect we are. The United States did this with World War II by covering up the bombing of Dresden. They did it again in Vonnegut's time with the Vietnam War, and the true war story is still going on. We all desire a world where our opinions are validated by others, no matter how many people get hurt or killed or oppressed. So there we have it, Kurt Vonnegut, who makes fun of himself to make fun of all of us. We're all just disappointing, depraved babies in the end. And Vonnegut wants to disrupt our wider perceptions of the world, to actually see the reality we hide, that we as a species are absurd and pointless if we do not continue to be compassionate or humane in the face of war. See you next week.